Welcome to this presentation of Shelf Reliance. In this presentation, you'll learn more about Shelf Reliance, the company, the 3 product lines offered by Shelf Reliance, as well as your opportunity for many discounts. What is Shelf Reliance? Shelf Reliance was started 6 years ago by 2 friends, Steve Palmer and Jason Budge. They were trying to come up with a better way of rotating food. Their solution? A food rotation system. Essentially, it's a shelf that allows you to front-load cans, first in, first out. Since that time, they've come up with 2 more product lines, the Thrive Foods brand and emergency preparedness products. First, we'll take a look at Thrive Foods. Thrive Foods includes over 130 products, including entrees and desserts. There are products from every food group. Many people confuse freeze-dried foods with dehydrated foods, but the differences are stark. Dehydrated foods are heated up and the moisture is evaporated out of them. There's a loss of color, texture, and flavor with dehydrated foods, as well as nutrients. Many dehydrated foods have additives such as corn syrup to enhance their flavors. Freeze-dried foods, on the other hand, are brought down to a very low temperature, and the water is vacuumed out of it. Benefits of freeze-dried foods? They retain all of their color, texture, flavor, and nutrients. There are no additives. If you want bananas, you get bananas, no corn syrup. They have a shelf life of about 25 to 30 years sealed, and typically 1 to 2 years open, no refrigeration needed. How do you use it? Just add water. Typically, there are 3 reasons people purchase Thrive Foods. The first is for everyday use. Many times, people will take perishable items and substitute freeze-dried foods for them. The flavor and texture are just the same as the perishable items, but you don't have to worry about them going bad. Also, people use Thrive Foods for long-term food storage. But if we take the first 2 concepts and combine them and use them for both reasons, we'll be on our way to building our home grocery store. Let's look at some ways at how you can use Thrive Foods in your everyday cooking. What could we all use more of? Time and money. How much time do you waste at the grocery store? Did you know that the average person will spend about 7 years of their life in a grocery store? When I get home from work, the last thing that I want to do is stand on my feet and chop a bunch of vegetables, or even meat for that matter. Even if I had a handy-dandy slap chop, I really wouldn't be saving too much time because I'd have to get out the slap chop, prepare it, and then clean it. Thrive Foods come pre-sliced, chopped, and diced to save you preparation time. By receiving monthly shipments of pre-prepared food, you'll have time to focus on more important things. Is this a familiar sight? I typically purchase fruits and vegetables with good intentions, but somehow they get shoved to the back of the fridge or in the crisper, or just forgotten, and end up like this. How about meats? Ever get freezer burn? What about when the electricity goes out? Then the clock starts ticking. You either have to keep it in there and hope that it stays good, or take it out and cook it right away. I know many times I've left it in there and then thrown it away later because I was too afraid to use it. Let's take a look at how much food goes into the trash. A federal study found that 96.4 billion pounds of edible food was wasted by U.S. retailers, food service businesses, and consumers in 1995. That's about 1 pound of waste per day for every adult and child in the nation at that time. That doesn't count food lost on farms and by processors and wholesalers. For a family of 4 people, that amounted to about 122 pounds of food thrown out each month in grocery stores, restaurants, cafeterias, and homes. Here's a depiction of that family's monthly share of the sum of waste in 8 different food groups, as detailed in the study. Thrive foods save you money. All you have to do is substitute Thrive for items that typically go bad or that you normally end up throwing out. For example, I will never throw out rubbery celery again. Thrive foods are also comparable to the wet pack items you'll find in your grocery store. In March of 2011, I compared Thrive green beans to wet pack green beans that I found at my local grocery store. I live in the Midwest, and the price per serving was only off by 1 cent. I'm more than happy to pay 1 cent more per serving for a longer shelf life, a higher quality product, and ease of use. Next, we'll take a look at some of the reasons people use Thrive foods for their food storage. First, what is food storage? Essentially, food storage is food insurance. What happens if you become unemployed? Do you have to worry about paying the mortgage, the utilities, or food? Well, if you have food storage, no need to worry about that. Take care of what you need to take care of, and you'll have the food there. How about power outages or natural disasters? When the power goes out, there's no telling how long it will be gone. If you have Thrive foods, the food stays shelf stable, no refrigeration needed. All you need to cook it? Water, and many of the products you can eat dry. Also, price hikes on food, especially right now. Meat has gone up so much, I have many friends that refuse to buy it anymore. But we all have some of our Thrive meats that we've been purchasing for the last year. We've got it stored up, so we don't have to worry about going without the meat. We can just use what we have in our home grocery store. How much do you need? Well, a good place to start is a 3-month supply. But don't worry, you don't have to buy it all at once. What do you need? Well, what do you eat? You really need to store things from all the major food groups, not just beans and rice. So why Thrive? Well, there are many reasons, but just to name a few, Thrive Foods uses over 30 different local distributors versus about 4 to 5 with other freeze-dried food companies. This gives us the highest quality and excellent taste and freshness. Also, Thrive Foods are FDA and HACCP certified. You'll also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. The cans used by Thrive Foods are purposefully designed. They're color-coded by food group for easy recognition. The peephole picture on the front allows you to see what the product inside looks like. The freeze-dried banner along the front is easily readable when put into a food rotation system. The nutrition facts on the can are based on a 2,000 calorie per day diet, which is typical of most foods. There's also a recipe on each can that helps you figure out how to use the product. There are also product instructions, as well as a spot for the expiration date. Remember, these cans are typically good for 25 to 30 years, sealed. Once you open the can, you typically have 1 to 2 years of shelf life. All you do is write the month, day, and year in the spots provided and start counting up from there. The cans are also double lined with a food-grade enamel. This helps seal in freshness and allows the cans to be rust-proof. Thrive Foods come in 3 different sizes: a number 10 can or a gallon, a pantry can or 1/3 of a gallon, and sample pouches. Not all of Thrive foods come in sample pouches. They're a great way to sample foods that you don't want to buy a bigger size. They're also great for sending to friends and family as well as troops overseas. In addition to purchasing individual cans and pouches,